All right, today is day 2 of 3.6, day 2 of 3. Yesterday, remember, we started talking about slope. And slope, as a reminder, slope was the slant of the line. And we learned that, basically, let's recap here, that if it's increasing from left to right, it's positive slope. If it's decreasing from left to right, it's a negative slope. Horizontal line is a zero slope because there's no rise, but yes, run. And if the line is vertical, where it looks like x equals some number, and this is y equals some number, then it's undefined slope because there's rise but no run. And that we define slope to be rise over run, which was the difference of the y values over the difference of the x values. So let's start off today with a quick review. If you're watching the video, obviously you're watching, pause it and try these two problems on your own and then push play. All right, so to find the slope, we're going to subtract, remember this is x, y, x, y. So we're going to subtract the y values. It doesn't matter the order in which you do it as long as you stick with the same order. And then we have 2 minus negative 1. So this is going to give us positive 3 over positive 3, or 1. So the slope is 1, which means we could think of it as 1 over 1 if we want to, that we're going to go up 1 and over 1. Now we also, this is a recap from a couple days ago, where we're going to graph using the x and y intercepts. So remember, for these, we make a little chart, and we let x be 0 and y be 0. When x is 0, we're left with 4y equals 12, and we divide both sides by 4, and we get y equals 3. So when x is 0, y is 3, right there. And when y is 0, we're left with negative 3x equals 12. Dividing by negative 3, we get x equals negative 4. And so I'll write it here. X is negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. And then we draw the line. As a bonus now, I want us to graph this equation, y equals 3/4 x minus 2. Now, when we did this last week, often we plugged in 0, 1, and 2. But in this case, 0 works. But remember, whatever we plug in for x, we're going to have to divide by 4. So maybe let's plug in 0, 4, and 8, or 0, 4, and negative 4 would be good things to plug in. So 3/4 times 0 minus 2 is just 0 minus 2, or negative 2. So 0, negative 2, there's 1 point. If we plug in 4, that is 3/4 times 4 minus 2 is going to be 3 minus 2, or 1. So 4, 1, there's a point. And 8 is going to be 3/4 times 8 minus 2, or in other words, 6 minus 2, which is 4. So at 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go. All right, so our 3 points are in a row. All looks good. Oh, interesting. It looks like these lines are parallel. Well, parallel, when you think about it, would mean that they have the same slant or the same slope. So parallel means same slope. Well, let's see. What is the slope? Let's count. So on my red graph, I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, over 4. So this has a slope, of 3/4. Oh, I see that in my equation, don't I? Negative 2, hey, here's negative 2. That is, remember what we call that? That's what we call our y-intercept. So notice on my equation here, this is my slope, and this is my y-intercept. Interesting. Let's go back up here, and this equation right now is in standard form, but I wonder if we put it in this, I wonder if we put it in, I didn't mean to move that. I wonder if we put it in the other form, if we would notice the same slope. Let's see. So I'm going to, I did not give myself a lot of room here. I'm going to squeeze it up here on top. So I'm going to start with that negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. And I'm going to start by adding 3x to both sides because I want y by itself on one side. So 4y equals 3x plus 12. Writing my x term first. And now if I divide everything by 4, I get y equals 3/4 x plus 3. So let's look at that and compare it to my other one. Well, notice that 3/4 is my slope, right? Up 3/4, right? Or here, up 3/4. 3/4 is my slope, just like here. And then let's look at this. Look, 3 right there. That is my y-intercept. So what we're seeing here leads us into today's lesson, and that is when the equation looks like this, right? That it's y equals x plus number. That's called our slope-intercept form. And whatever comes before the x is the slope, and then the plain old number at the end is our y-intercept. And we see that here. We have our y-intercept is -2 for this one, and then a slope of 3/4. And up here, we had a y-intercept of 3 and a slope of 3/4. Now, today we're not going to be graphing yet. It's one little baby step, but we are becoming familiar with this y equals mx plus b form, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So we're going to become very familiar with this form of the equation today, and then tomorrow we will be finally graphing. But today we're going to be finding the slope and the y-intercept from the equation. So problems like A are nice and easy because it's already in that y equals mx plus b form. So we can just say slope is 3. If you write 3/1, that's okay too, right? We will need that tomorrow because slope is always rise over run. And my y-intercept is -4. Now this one, remember this graph looks like this. And let's say this is 6.5. Remember this graph looks like this. It's that horizontal line. So that's when we have no rise, but yes run. So here my slope is 0, and my y-intercept is 6.5. Now this last one is a problem because it's not in the right form. I don't know what the slope is. I can't tell because it's not in y equals mx plus b. So we have to put it in y equals mx plus b. So let's start by adding 5x to both sides. Don't forget that negative in front of the y. We write our x term first, then the number. Now we have to divide everything by -1, which is going to give me y equals -5x plus 2. So my slope is -5, my y-intercept 2. All right, so now I have some for you to try. I'm going to add a bonus one at the end. I'm going to add a bonus one at the end and call it x equals 5. So If you're watching the video, pause it, try these on your own, and then push play. And then we're going to do them. So slope, -6, y-intercept, 1. Slope, 1/2. Y-intercept, do not write none. We don't write +0, right? So it's 0. It would go through the origin. That is the y-intercept, 0. For this one, we got to do a little bit of work. So we get y equals -2x + 8. And so my slope is -2, y-intercept 8. Here, let's start by subtracting x from both sides. 4y equals -x - 12. 4 y equals negative. Now I'm going to write this -1/4 x minus 3. So instead of writing -x over 4, let's put that number in front and then the x and so forth. So my slope, -1/4, y-intercept, -3. This last one, -3x, we get -y equals -3x - 5, dividing everything by -1. Y equals +3x + 5, slope 3, y-intercept 5. Okay, so we didn't do one like this. X equals 5. Remember, remember this means this is going to look like this. Suppose this is 5. It's going to be that vertical line. Oh, vertical line. So this is slope, undefined, y-intercept, none, right? So this is that weird one. Okay, so now we want to write an equation in slope-to-intercept form. So this is y equals mx plus b that has a slope of 2 and a y-intercept of -1. So we're going to plug in what we know. This is my m, this is my b. So write an equation. It's going to look like y equals 2x minus 1. Slope is 2, y-intercept -1.